Like, they're matching the desperation that is required right now. Curry, Draymond, and Butler on the bench. I hope it's a lesson learned. You have to have one of those guys on the floor at all times.
It's time to move on from Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel played himself out of being an all-time Niner.
But you have to be a little easy on these guys at times. I know it's hard to do that. And listen, we crush people for a living. That's kind of what we do. We like to crush these kids. And they're not kids, they're adults, this, that, and the other. But there's so much on the line here. And Mike Dunleavy was talking about it yesterday with Steiny and Goo that, these are playoff type of matches going forward.
Yeah, I think right now where we stand, we've kind of talked about it, is the playoffs begin now. Every night matters.
Yeah.
Last night was just a huge, it felt like losing game 5 on the road in the playoff series is really what it felt like. So that's how it's going to be for the next, 28, 30 games, however many we have left. Every night matters. These stadiums are so tight. Usually every night you're playing not only playing the standings, but you may be playing a tiebreaker. Last night was a tiebreaker game for us against the Mavericks, and these games are counting double. So I would hope, everybody understands that, feels it, the players, the coaches. We got to be in playoff mode. That's the situation we put ourselves in right now with kicking some of these games throughout the year, which have been really, really disappointing. But, if you like the playoffs, might as well get it started early.
All right, we're in playoff mode, Dub Nation. You heard it from the GM right there, Mike Dunleavy, on yesterday's Steiny and Goo. You can find that entire interview on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube, or download the free Odyssey app. Again, did I mention it's free? It's free. Download it. You'll find it there. Playoff mode, Joe Shasky. I think you've been in it, though, for these last few weeks. We've been feeling that for a while now because the desperation is palpable from the fans when they call in, and I see it everywhere on social.
The team is playing a desperate brand of basketball that I appreciate. Like, they're matching the desperation that is required right now.
Steph is playing back-to-backs. That should tell you all you need to know. He wasn't doing that. Like, had they not made a move at the deadline, I don't know if you see Steph Curry playing that game yesterday.
That's a good point.
I don't know if you do.
It's a good point. I don't know. But I would say this. In the half court, 6 minutes to go, back-to-back nights, what I've noticed, they've got a guy in Jimmy Butler who can take someone on at the top of the key. They need another guy. They need Kuminga. They need another dude as a perimeter defender. I still want another bigger body occasionally because Draymond at the rim was spectacular against Dallas. And then on offense, I see multiplicity. And what I mean by that is that we can throw it to Jimmy on the block. We can have it Jimmy with the ball in his hands at the top of the key. We can have Steph have the ball at the top of the key. We can run pick and roll. We can run motion. We can run a variety of things. And the triangular, the three-headed monster of Draymond, Jimmy, and Curry gives them multiple playmakers in the half court. And I don't think they could say that they had that with Wiggins. And it's not a knock on Wiggs. I just don't think Wiggins creates for others or commands the coverage that Jimmy commands, nor can get the points in the paint the way that Jimmy does, which forces the double team and opens things up for those shooters like Moses Moody. I love the final 5-6 minutes offense from this team. They have a whole new dynamic right now. And Jimmy might be their best, dare I say he's their best back to the basket player since Bogut.
No, I don't think it's that outlandish, right? And again,
not to deny Durant, by the way. I don't want to forget Durant.
Durant's just so different.
Or Livingston.
He's just such a different body.
I totally agree.
Like Livingston, too. Like, that guy's tall, slender.
But he wouldn't go through you.
No, well, he couldn't. He wasn't big enough to do that. But Jimmy's big. Like, that's the difference here.
He's a better rebounder than I gave credit for.
KD could just fade away or just pull up and just jump everywhere.
Yes.
Like Jimmy can't do that. Or he can, but he doesn't. He could actually just plow through because he's 230. He's a big boy, and he doesn't mind getting a little gritty and dirty from time to time.
He plays strong.
Yes.
Which is, I can't remember the last time the Warriors had a guy, David West maybe, who played that like, I'm just going to body you, junkyard dog you backyard style.
Right.
Like, hey, we're at the park. I'm bigger than you. I'll miss my own layup, and I'll get the rebound, and I'll go right back up.
By the way, last night, the Warriors...
I love Jimmy. I love Jimmy.
All 5 of their starters scored in double figures for the first time this season, Joe Shasky.
That's the first time all year?
That's the first time all year all of their starters scored in double figures. They became the last team in the NBA this season to accomplish that feat. Hey, at least he did it.
Well, they've had 8,000 different lineups.
Like 30 or something ridiculous. By the way,
they lead the league, 33.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app. Shameless shout-outs coming up in 44 minutes. I want to ask this question, though. Right now, open up the phone lines, 888-957-9570. One word to describe I was going to say first half of the season, but it's even like more than half. It's like 55 games.
Doesn't this feel like a whole new version of the Warriors?
Does. How would you describe the season up to this point? Let's just say it like that. How would you describe in one word the season up to this point? I'm going to go here right off the bat. Chaotic. There's been a lot happening. There's been D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield. Okay, we didn't get Lauri Markkanen, we didn't get Paul George, but hey, we got some guys. Hey, D'Anthony Melton, he could be a nice piece. He gets hurt almost immediately, it feels like. You trade him for Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, oh, that's a nice piece. We don't have to give up much. And this a couple second-round picks. D'Anthony Melton, who wasn't going to be playing for us. That didn't work. You get desperate. You get a lot of injuries. Jonathan Kuminga, who was balling, gets hurt. Andrew Wiggins is being inconsistent. At least he's been consistently inconsistent. You don't want to part with him because of the vibes, I guess.
Consistently inconsistent.
That's what he is.
That.
That's what Andrew Wiggins is always going to be. He's been consistently inconsistent.
Sound like my wife.
You thought you were going to be. You thought you were going to be in on Kevin Durant. Anthony Slater was joining us on our airwaves. He's going to be joining us at 8 o'clock. He said it was 50-50. He's going to come back here. You know, you get the sports version of blue balls. You don't get him. You get hurt. And then all of a sudden you're talking yourself into Jimmy Butler. And now you're 3-1 in the Jimmy Butler era. You're one game over 500. You're in the 10th spot in the West. There's been so much happening this season. Stephen Curry's been shouldering a heavy burden this year. He hasn't been the same player, but he's still Steph, and you still love the guy. He's 5 of 13 from three-point land yesterday, 27 points. So the one word I would use to describe this first part of the season heading into the All-Star break, chaotic, Joe Shasky. What say you?
I'm going to go one word, and I'm going to go in honor of the All-Star game. You're going to probably see this 7,000 times. Lombard. As in crooked as hell. Going one way, going the other, going back. I'm going Lombard Street here on you, okay? This thing has gone all over the place. If I was going to basically describe what's going on currently, surging. Meaning I feel like this team is going to be surging at the right time. They're going to be the team in the final month in the season no one wants to see. I feel like Denver's one of those teams right now. They're on fire. 7, 8 in a row. I don't know what they
8 in a row for the Denver Nuggets. They're looking like the champs they were a couple seasons ago. They're incredible. Yeah, I mean, they got the best. I don't care what anyone says. It's always Jokic. Until Jokic doesn't do Jokic things, he's the best player in the league, bar none.
100% agree. But I think like if you took them off the board, you know, Lakers are kind of a work in progress. We'll see what goes on with them. I don't want to diminish. Obviously, OKC is spectacular. I think surging is the word I would use for the last week because it feels like the vibes are surging. Their health is surging, meaning they're getting healthier, and the chemistry is clearly surging. And I feel like the coach is starting to pull the right levers because there's less stuff bogging them down. There's not 13 men I have to get involved. The young guys, you know, Guy Santos, Quentin Post, Pajemski, Moses Moody, they're all playing some of the best ball of their young careers thus far.
888-957-9570. One word to describe this team heading into the All-Star break is what? I said chaotic. Joe Shasky saying surging. What say you? 888-957.
I said Lombard for the whole season.
I know, but your surging sounds better though right now. Lombard.
Well, I like the crookedness.
Yeah, that's too nuanced though. If I say Lombard, people are going to look at it. Lumber? What? Lubman? What are you talking? What? I know we're in San Francisco.
Have you ever gone down Lombard Street?
Yeah, because you do it as a tourist. But like, I don't know, as a kid probably.
We used to drink 40s at the top of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it a good view?
Well, we would scare tourists probably.
Yeah.
Who are these locals?
Yeah, the bags over them too. 211 Steel Reserve. Is that what you're doing?
No, I was a Mickey's guy. Okay. Old English.
Sure.
You know.
It's not an Arizona green tea is what you're telling me in that bag. Okay. No. That's what I thought it was.
No, we had to have that big bottle cap. You know what I mean? The little B in there, and then the inside they'd have different words. So yeah, you know, just drinking that 40. That's what we used to do.
Sam, one word to describe this Warriors team at more than halfway point of the season.
I'll go with stressful because they've been playing so many clutch time games this year. What's their total? It's like 35, 36 or some ridiculous number of clutch time games. Like all these close games, these clutch games, when you're playing tight down the stretch like this and you got to lock in a little bit extra, like that's got to be stressful for this team.
34 games, by the way.
34 games, yeah.
17 and 17.
I'm glad you didn't say torture because I think that's so played out.
No. I'm going with stressful because, these clutch games, they are stressful. And when you're playing stressful games every night, like that's going to wear on you as the season goes on. So after the break, I would like to see, can we get some more blowouts, please? Just can we have some easier finishes to these games? Because you can't be playing, every game, clenched up tight like these guys have to, night in and night out when they're fighting off teams like the Magic or the Hornets, or last night it was the Rockets. Like, you're going to have close games.
The Rockets coming out to play.
But when you're doing it against like teams that are like far and away worse than you, it's just like, come on, guys. Like, you're better than this.
All 4 matchups against Houston this season have been clutch games, to your point, Sam Lubman, decided by 6 or fewer points. All right, New York Ken, who's in for Carter in the back. One word to describe this Golden State Warriors team right now.
I'm going to be a little optimistic about it. I'm going to say resilient. Resilient. Because think about this. They had Pat Spencer in late games, like running point.
Don't dog my guy.
No, I'm not.
2
but
first
think about
names
that.
too. Yeah.
Think about that. Curry with the tendonitis. Didn't figure out who they were going to trade for. Jimmy's on the table. He's off the table. Kevin Durant. Like, dude, they've been resilient. Mike Dunleavy, we weren't sure if he was going to last as a GM. Everyone's like, well, we know why Bob Myers left. Like, they've been resilient, and they're still in it.
I love that you went straight to Pat Spencer.
Hey.
We could probably field calls all day and not get a Pat Spencer call.
Well, the beauty of a Pat Spencer is he can just be walking down the street right now. You wouldn't even recognize him.
Oh, I would.
That's the best, like,
lacrosse legend.
But people always ask, like, what do you want to be like famous in right now? Or what sport would you want to be famous most in? Or I'd love to be in hockey because I could make so much money still.
Yeah,
and I'd be wearing a helmet or cap or whatever, face mask on there. No one would recognize me. I'd be making millions. It'd be great.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Unless
no teeth.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they all have fake teeth.
Well, no, I'd
and
have
stuff.
that cage thing like Sidney Crosby has. Like, my teeth are going to be fine. I need it for the schnoz, too. The beak would get broken instantly there. I'd look like Owen Wilson. By the way, 95.7 The Game and Under Armour are giving you a chance to score a pair of the new Curry 12s, Joe Shasky, before you could buy them. Listen to the Morning Roast. Today, again, it was the read says all week, but today's the last day. Your cue to call is going to be 415-523-4652. You're going to be the 5th caller to the contest line. Not right now. It's going to be next segment, and you will win a pair of the Stephen Curry Under Armour What the Bay 12s. I've been seeing billboards when I crossed the Bay Bridge heading into Oakland, too, all about them. They're sick. They released today on UA.com. For more info and to see what they look like, visit 957thegame.com. We'll give those away on the other side. You're going to be listening for a sounder. Do we have the sounder, Ken? Actually, I think I have it right here. I'm going to do it.
I'm just going to do what Steph wants me to do now.
That's going to be the sound. When you hear that sound right there, that little drop, next time you're going to call in to the contest line, 415-523-4652.
We're getting a couple of texts here.
Please.
In terms of, how would you describe the Warriors season in one word? Seesaw. That's from our guy, Duke in the City.
I like that.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Love a good seesaw.
A teeter-totter?
Yeah. Teeter-totter. That's the old school. Knock out some teeth with those bad boys.
As my little brother Mike, he would, because he couldn't pronounce his R's, teeter-totter. Yeah, that's how he'd say it all the time. Teeter-totter. Sewa, his twin sister. He couldn't do his R's. So cute. And look, in hindsight, love you, little brother.
That's great.
Little bro. He's doing great, too. He's at the Coast Guard. He's a nurse now. He's crushing it in life. He's married, no kids, so they're traveling all the time.
Wow.
Good for them, yeah. Crushing it, yeah. No crippling debt. Must be nice. 888 in the Jimmy Butler era, you salvage the road trip at 3-3, and you head into the All-Star break at 28-27, a game over 500. I'm feeling great, Joe Shasky.
I'm feeling amazing, and I'm about to pull a Rambo. So just hang tight as I rat-a-tat-tat some of these takes. Put the Warriors to the side for 1 minute. Count it out. 1 minute. Valentine's is the most overrated holiday of all the holidays. Happy birthday to my mother, whose birthday happens to fall on Valentine's Day. I love you, Mom. You're the best. I just know that I absolutely love you. You're my biggest fan. I don't know why. And just know that we all love you and we wouldn't be anywhere without you. And just shout out to all the moms out there, but in particular, my mother and my father would have been celebrating and are celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary on Sunday. So nice. This time is always an emotional one for me. That being said, Valentine's is hands down the most overrated Hallmark garbage freaking holiday of the year.
Why?
It is ridiculous. Because the expectations of the man are through the roof, and in this equality world that we live in, you're supposed to get jewelry and chocolates and flowers, and everything goes through the roof. You want to talk about inflation? The prices of roses the week of Valentine's are through the roof for something you're going to throw out in 7 days.
It doesn't have to be roses. It could be sunflowers. It could be lilies. It doesn't have to be roses.
All right, now the 60 seconds is up. Let's get to the Warriors. They closed out a game in the final 5 minutes, and they looked looked really good in the half court. Now, there was a couple of mistakes. Steph Curry throwing the ball into no man's land. I mean, geez Louise. Draymond Green hitting the 3 late in that game. Pajemski with the step throughs. And then Jimmy Butler running some of that high pick and roll action off ball after making the pass in the corner to Draymond Green. So many great things to love from that final 5-6 minutes. I don't care it's the Rockets. You got to stack wins. I'm happy that they played. That was a big win. Huge momentum, 3-1 since the Jimmy Butler deal. You got to love it. You got 8 days off until your next game. Let's go.
The Rockets coming out to play.
You feel like that? Was that Draymond yesterday? The Rockets coming out to play? I got to say this about the Rockets. I thought the Rockets were absolutely going to blow out the Warriors yesterday because I was under the impression when the show ended that, I don't think Steph's going to play or Draymond. But, the news came down that, hey, it's going to be Steph. It's going to be Dre. It's going to be Jay. Everyone's playing tonight. So they even felt the desperation in that own locker room. The disappointing they lost in Dallas was not going to bleed in to the next day.
Yes.
So they played all their guys that were available. Pat Spencer, come on down. They went with a different lineup, the starting lineup, and I liked it. I like
Pat Spencer.
He had some plays. I wasn't mad at him.
I like him more than everybody else does, and that's fine.
No,
I know he's not a difference maker.
Goo was gassing him up yesterday. Goo likes him too.
Shocker. Goo likes somebody who's played a couple of minutes.
Don't go to my guy Goo. He was looking fresh yesterday. Him, Mark Spears, Sal Castaneda.
He didn't tell us where he was going, and it was a private party.
That's right, because, hey, he's a private person. Draymond Green, Jimmy Buckets, Steph Curry, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski in that starting lineup. I love that.
I did too.
And we heard Steve Kerr after the game. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr. He's going to be a mainstay in that starting lineup going forward, Brandon Pajemski, till Kuminga comes back, obviously. We'll see how that changes things. And again, starting lineup, we've talked about it. You and Bonta have talked about it. And speaking of Bonta, he's going to be joining us in the 9 o'clock hour as he does each Friday here on the Morning Roast with Spadoni and Shasky.
Speaking of Valentine's, you think he has a change of heart and now he's loving the Jimmy Butler deal?
I'm just well-rounded.
He is just well-rounded. You know what? Pivot, don't panic. That's what you taught him all these years, Joe Shasky.
I'm good with that.
So you know what? And I'm going to defend Valentine's Day because you know what? It's a holiday centered on love and showing appreciation for someone. And you know what? That's okay in my book. Benny is so excited. Young Benjamin, my 5-year-old, he is so excited. He made a bunch of different Valentine's Day and goodie bags for all of his classmates today, Joe Shasky. And you know what he said? Awesome. There's a specific girl in his class. I think Chloe's her name. And he's like, you know what? When I give this to Chloe, I think she's going to give me a hug. How cute is that?
Oh, my gosh.
How cute. A hug. I know. It's a big deal. And TK,
Joe, I mean, might have to have the talk pretty soon.
Relax over there. My father did have 10 kids. But this, that, and the other, Valentine's Day is showing appreciation. You know what? I appreciate the young guys in this Golden State Warriors team right now. Brandon Pajemski, hey, 7-17. Hey, he was getting the shots up, and I wasn't mad at it yesterday.
I thought the first 2 quarters he was excellent. And then the first quarter in particular, it set the tone.
The energy, right?
100%. The balancing of the floor. And look, is he a little hesitant at times?
Yes.
Absolutely. There's undeniable. But when he hit that left-handed layup off the off foot in the fourth quarter, I don't think he makes that a week or two ago.
The Euro step, is that the
one?
It
was a really nice play.
He's been really good with that Euro lately. And I want to shout out again Moses Moody, another double-digit point performance from Moses Moody, who's playing tremendous defense.
His defense with pods, I think the two of them combined for like 7 or 8 steals and a couple of blocks. I thought they did a great job trapping late in the game. Because to me, situationally, the Warriors have been pathetic defensively.
Speaking of pathetic
late in games.
Pathetic yesterday. The offense of the Houston Rockets, and credit the Warriors defense. Again, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. Amen Thompson. I like him.
He's so good.
He does 5 turnovers yesterday.
I know, but
you got to attack these young guys.
What's he, 19?
He's super young.
I mean, he's going to be amazing.
Again, I always say it, when LeBron James has body envy of you, I'm going to take notice, and Amen Thompson is a physical freak. But again, only 4 points yesterday, 2 of 7. Dylan Brooks didn't do anything basically yesterday.
Thank God.
Yeah, right? Alperen Şengün, a guy who's an all-star, who's legit.
Who's giving us fits.
Only 10 points, 4 of 10. They did a great job on him. Aaron Holiday, he got his, but 2 of 9 from the three-point line, 25 points for him. So inefficiency basically everywhere. And it wasn't a great offensive game from either team, but that was the kind of win you needed. After a grinded out, loss the night before, being able to come back because you almost blew the game because you had a 20-point lead. But that was a win that I think they needed for the mentals.
Absolutely.
They blew the lead, but you have Jimmy Butler back, and you have Jimmy Butler in these situations now to help you right the ship. And Joe, you brought it up, Joe Shasky, slowing everything down. Half court. Hey, pods, Moody, go to the corner. Steph, Draymond, other side.
Yep.
Let's high pick and roll. He's just going to cut right to the basket. Just again, going back to Moses, parting the Red Sea, easy layup. Clutch.
They need to play. Look, do I want them to blow everyone out? Of course I do, but that's not realistic. The reality is they need to play in as many close games as possible so that they could figure out the final 5 minutes and start to feel confident. Every Warrior fan thought the same thing yesterday. Uh-oh. Right?
Yeah.
6 minutes to go. Uh-oh. What's going to happen? And credit to the Warriors and Steve Kerr for putting out the appropriate combinations of players out there. He subbed Looney out after I thought Looney was good, gave them some good minutes, and put Draymond back in, and they galvanized themselves. And I thought that they played a much better brand of basketball in the half court offensively. Steph, you're going to play with the ball. Jimmy, now you're going to play with the ball. All right, now we're going to run action where Steph is screening and everyone's going to jump on him. And then, to your point, Jimmy cuts back door. Jimmy's going to get the ISO out on the perimeter all by himself. Steve Kerr needed that, and I think the team needed that. There was some good and bad yesterday from Steve Kerr. Obviously, everyone playing great. Loved that. Loved that he didn't play, Buddy Hield more than about 15 minutes yesterday. I don't know what he ended up with, but it just felt like that was a really smart move, and putting Pods back in the starting lineup. I like that.
14 minutes for Buddy.
The only negative, and I said it when they made the deal, you got to have Butler or Curry on the floor at all times.
Yeah.
One of the two. And there was I don't know how many total minutes. Someone could check this out. Curry, Draymond, and Butler on the bench, end of the third, and they started to fight back.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, boom, a 7-point swing, and Houston goes on a little run, and they have life. I hope it's a lesson learned. You have to have one of those guys on the floor at all times.
And I think we also learned that just because you add Jimmy Butler, and again, it's only been 4 games, it's hard to shake those old habits die hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what we're getting out with the Warriors. They had a 20-point lead, 20-plus point lead multiple times in that game, and they tricked it off late. Sure, Steve Kerr, but also the players, too. They have this switch in their brain that just shuts off for some reason when adversity hits late in the fourth quarter. They just turn into just a dumb team sometimes. I was like, what are we doing? Like, there is championship medal from 3 of those guys on the team. I know Jimmy hasn't won one. He's been to the finals twice. He's a championship type of player. Him, Steph, Draymond, and it was refreshing to see when push came to shove, when they needed a big bucket and they trimmed that lead to just a 2-point lead, Houston that is, Steph with a massive 3-pointer to calm everything down with 6 minutes to go. They end up taking that 9-point lead late, Draymond 3-pointer, and they come away with the victory, 28-27, 13-14 on the road, 105-98 the final, 888-957-9570. They're 3-1 in the Jimmy Butler era. Like, are you feeling this positive momentum, Dub Nation, heading into this All-Star break? And we're going to be talking about the All-Star game today because you know what? We want to create some excitement. Like, I am actually legitimately, after that win last night, I'm excited about this team and what this season is going to have in store. And I think it came at the perfect time for rest, for Jimmy, get some of that wind back under him. Steph, get those knees, ice them, double ice, triple ice. I don't know what you're doing. You need to do something. Just relax. Draymond, same thing. Great game from him last night. It could not have come at a better time with the momentum, with the Jimmy Butler addition, with all of that. And it's here in the Bay Area, downtown San Francisco. You mentioned it. You're already seeing stuff go up.
Yeah.
We're seeing big pictures of Giannis, KD, Steph. It's going to be awesome. And by the way, thank you. Shout out to those on YouTube, brought to you by Golden State, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit goldenstatelumber.com. We got Anthony Slater in studio, not in studio, it's Bonta in studio. Anthony Slater at 8 o'clock, Bonta in studio at 9, as all guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands, River Islands in Lathrop? By the way, shameless shout-outs, 7:45, Valentine's Day. Boys, girls, come on up. Shout them out. Valentine's Day, shameless shout-out, 7:45. Cannot wait for that. It's a fun show, man. I'm excited.
Best I've felt about the Warriors since the first 2 weeks of the season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward to me. The other part of this is there anything more hilarious and predictable than a late Draymond Green either layup or 3-pointer that puts the team up what I would consider like night time. When he hits the shot and then he does like this as he's going back.
It's always fun.
And he does the face and everything. It's just, Dre is hilarious.
Vintage Draymond, right? Like he's talking his talk.
Steph made a great pass to him. And then Steph also had one of the worst lob turnovers late in that game to Jimmy Butler. It just,
again, timing. They got to figure it out.
I love you, Steph, but like, there are some turnovers that are just inexcusable from an all-time legend.
I feel you. Hey, got to the free throw line last night. Were you encouraged by that? 9 attempts.
They shot over 80% for the first time in however many consecutive games. They're the only team in the league to do that. That hasn't done that since December.
And hey, that killed the Rockets yesterday. The Rockets got to the line 18 times. They were 10 of 18.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
No, and then the Warriors juxtaposed that 24 and 27, 89%. It was 88.9, just round it. 89% from the free throw line. That is significant. Jimmy Butler, perfect. Steph, 8 of 9. Again, it's weird. It's weird to see 8 of 9 and not perfect from Steph. It's starting to, again, I don't want to be that guy. Make those free throws, Steph, but I'm going to take it easy on you. He's had to carry this team for God knows how long. And he finally looks like he has a running mate in him, and Jimmy Butler, who didn't shoot the ball great yesterday, but again,
I thought he was rugged.
He was, but he bakes the big buckets when they need him to, and that's why you brought in Jimmy, right?
He missed a couple layups though as well, and the continuation of the missed layups is kind of driving the fan base insane. Yeah. It just is, and so like they've got to finish harder around the rim. I mean, that's just it's probably going to be a continued problem for this team. They desperately also need a perimeter defender to help out. They need Kuminga back in the worst way. Like they really do. The Moses Moody, I like him in the 4, not necessarily like a 3-2. I just think he gets out on somebody and they kind of dribble right around him. He either closes out too slow, too fast, jumps out too hard. That is a consistent problem for this team. But again, this is the best they've played in months as a team, and it feels like the joy is back with a variety of these guys.
Are you feeling that joy? Is it joyful to watch this team now, Dub Nation, for the first time basically all season since Joe Shasky said the first few weeks? Has that joy returned for you watching this squad? Do you have a newfound sense of optimism watching this team with Jimmy Butler? Again, they're 3-1 in the Jimmy Butler era. Probably should have been 4-0 for being quite honest. Bad loss against the Mavericks, but you know what? They bounced back today on the back end of a back-to-back against, again, a Rockets team that right now is 4th in the West. The West is really freaking good. I was just looking, and it's kind of a joke. And, you know, Adam Silver is going to be here, and I don't think this is ever going to happen. But in basketball, more so than any other sport, I feel like it needs to. Like, can we do away with the West versus East and just do seeding? All 1 through whatever
playoffs.
They play. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The fact that the 76ers at 20 and 34, they are 14 games under 500. They are 1 game out of the 10th spot in the East. The Warriors are 28 and 27 and clinging to the 10th spot in the West. No, that's a joke.
I know.
That's an absolute joke that the Golden State Warriors may not even make it, and they could be over 500. Now, I think the Suns are fading. They've lost 3 in a row. They look like they're in shambles. I don't know what the Spurs are doing. They're giving like 50-year-old Chris Paul like starting minutes still when they got Stephon Castle barely playing. I don't know what they're doing. Are they? I think Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports said they're like quiet tanking. Like, you've ever heard of quiet quitting? I think the Spurs are kind of quiet tanking still.
Kind of like the Giants the last couple of years.
Hey, battle for 500, baby.
Don't tell anyone.
But does that bother you,
We're
Joe?
tanking.
Like, when you look at the standings in the East versus West, and I get it. This has been a thing for the last...
My whole life.
Right, for your whole life, basically.
The Warriors won 48 games and didn't make the playoffs the year after, we believe.
Exactly.
It's the most ever, I believe. I don't know if it's still a record, but at the time, for a team to win that many games and not make the playoffs.
It's an absolute joke, though, is what I'm getting at. And I would love to see a reseeding. I don't think it's going to happen. And I get it. Like, then the argument, you know, would be, oh, you know, the Cavs, like, you'd have to do, what are they doing in baseball now, where they're making the schedule just...
Well, the problem is this.
Universal schedule. I forget the name, but you play in every team.
Name me the Pacific Division in the NBA.
No one cares. It's all the West Coast teams, basically.
Yeah, but it's stupid. Like, we all can agree. Like,
well, that used to matter. Remember that? You could win the division and you get the home court.
Automatic 4.
Yeah, because it used to be like the NFL.
Yes. Yeah. And so, like, to me, like, I would do away with those. I would just go, you know, basic schedule. You play everybody 3 times.
3 times. Perfect. Right?
Simple.
It's simple. Like the Cavs, the Celtics, the Knicks, Pacers, Bucks. I'll throw the Pistons. Like, those are legit teams. Magic, we'll see. They've had some injuries. They're kind of fugazi, I think, too. I love Paolo. I love Franz, but their offense is not very good. Hawks are a joke. They're going to be tanking here soon, I feel like. I know Heat culture probably won't allow that, but they've lost 4 in a row. They're in shambles. Bulls have stunk ever since Michael Jordan left. 76ers again. And then the Nets, like, it's just frustrating when I see the Warriors clinging to the 10th spot, and they would be the 6th spot, potentially, right now in the East. It's just, I'm sorry. I hate to harp on it. Minimum of 1 hour for your daily entry. This is a national contest. Download the Odyssey app now, and you might be headed to Vegas in March with $20,000. Bonta Hill joining us, courtesy of the River Islands guest line. As all guests on 95.7 The Game up here on the River Islands guest line. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands? River Islands and Lathrop, as Bonta joins us every single Friday at 9 o'clock at this time. Back-to-back in studio, Bonta Hill. How we doing, man? Happy Valentine's Day.
Man, that guy sounds like a pro, Shasky. Listen to that guy driving the bus, man. Damn, Spadoni. Damn, you sound good.
You know, I could tell you were in the building because I could hear screaming through the plexiglass and everything else.
I was good. I was just getting my Joe Shasky on. That's all I was. Getting my takes ready to roll. Takes are ready to roll, baby. What's up, boys? Jimmy Butler's in the building.
Jimmy.
Look at this guy so happy.
Jimmy.
I know.
We're so fired up.
I wanted him the whole time.
No, yeah, I know you did. Same here.
I said it was a good move.
Listen, last Friday when I came in, I heard a couple of shows before, and Shasky's on the Kevin Durant. But you know what's crazy? Mully kind of looked at me funny for
How
saying this.
How incredible I am at radio?
No. We didn't say that. We said, boy, thank God you're off that show. No.
I see Mully. He was cheating on us. I was not happy.
Oh, with TNT?
Yeah.
No, that was planned. He had to do that. No, we like that. We like that. Get that TNT love.
I meant with Papa.
Oh,
about that.
I have nothing to do with that.
Tell him
considering you guys are my side chick now, that's I ain't got nothing to do with that. That would have happened if I was around. I'm just gonna say I didn't know that was going down.
Okay.
The whole TNT. I got my run TNT fixed, by the way, on television.
Was Mitch Richmond in the building?
Dude, they
did
had
you
the
hear Guru?
No.
Can you play the Rich?
Rich Mitchman? Yeah,
I'm asking the great Rich Mitchman.
He's in the chat, too, all the time, Rich Mitchum. He's in the chat.
They were on the set the other day. They were a lot of fun. Rising Stars
this
Challenge.
Team in the final 5 minutes yesterday? Pods with a gorgeous little lefty in the lane. I thought it was one of his best games of the year.
Pods is playing well.
Pods playing really well, averaging 14, 5, and 6
since he's returned from injury.
Yes,
there you go.
After the 11-game
Shasky.
absence, and he's been awesome. And then I'm looking at what they did in the half court, and it's not just Steph save us. It's, hey, we're going to throw to Jimmy at the top of the key. We're going to run a high pick and roll. We're going to throw it to Draymond at the block. We're going to run split action.
Yep.
We're going to have Curry come off ball, and Jimmy's going to set the screen. They're able to do, and I hate using this word in sports, but the multiplicity now to score with 5 minutes to go, I think goes through the roof. Look, the Dallas loss sucked. I get it. But I was telling Joe, they need to play in as many of these 5-minute or less games as possible to kind of figure out how to close games.
No doubt. I mean, the split action they ran on the three-point line yesterday with the spacing late in the game where Jimmy Butler backdoor cuts and he's wide open on the layup there. That was a split action that it wasn't your normal split action. So what you're saying here is they're unpredictable now in the half court. It's not, hey, Steph, run motion, read and react, try to get open and get a shot. Jimmy Butler in the mid-post, and I was arguing with this with Monty yesterday on the Dubs Talk podcast. He believes that Jimmy, JK, Draymond, they're not going to play a lot of minutes together. And I disagree with that.
Why?
I disagree with that because they're because of the spacing issues, right? Offensively, the way I look at it is these are three of your four best players. And Kuminga can learn by just playing the dunker spot on the other side while Jimmy is maintaining the mid-block, mid-post, Draymond either on the wing, in the corner. I think you have to play those guys together to figure out over the next 27 games, how can I get the best out of that lineup? Because the best version of the Warriors this season is with Draymond Green at the small ball 5. It is what it is.
He was dynamic Wednesday night.
Every time I hear from Shasky during a Warrior game, it's around the same time.
No, he was great defensively.
And it's either a Draymond missed. What is Draymond doing? Draymond get out of the game. And I'm like, oh, Shasky's alive.
He was great defensively in the final, 3 minutes of that Dallas game. He was.
Had the three yesterday.
They missed Kuminga's on-ball defense. And it's driving.
Isn't that the key to the season? Yes. With the loss of Andrew Wiggins. Look, Jimmy's a better overall player, and I love Wiggs. And Jimmy gives his team a different look at getting to the free throw line. Hell, they got to the free throw line, 27, 28 times yesterday? Shot 89% for the free throw line.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're getting to the charity stripe. Steph went 9 times last night, made 8 of them. But Jimmy in that mid-post gives the Warriors a different look. A guy who could post up and actually look at the basket and score.
Best back-to-the-basket Warrior since Bogut?
Since KD.
I don't consider KD back to the basket.
He's so unique. We were talking about that too.
He's kind of in his own realm, if that makes sense.
John Livingston.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Bogut would like have his back to the basket and pass it out.
I think it's the aggression too of Jimmy. He's 230. I think we underrate just how strong and big he actually is. He has 30 pounds on Wiggins. Wiggins listed at 200. Jimmy's listed at 230. Like there is a difference there.
Yeah, the strength.
And you were talking about it with those four eventually on the court together. It's not like you have great options for spacing outside of those guys. You're like, what are we doing? Buddy Hield, and God love him. I'm not here to crush him. I think we've done that too much. Guy Santos, Pat Spencer, Quentin Post. Like, again, we talked about it, Bonta. I'm sure you're in agreement here. Like the closing five, what we want: Draymond, Jimmy, Curry, Moody, Kuminga at the end of games. I feel like would be the one. And ideally, that's what you would want. Draymond's five.
I don't know about Moody. Moody's playing well.
Playing very well.
Double figures, 13 of his last 15, going to the rack, finishing, but it's his footwork on defense. It's the reason why he plays a 4.
Out
on the perimeter, he doesn't have the foot
close
speed.
Out
Although he did
hard.
a good job against Jalen Green yesterday. Jalen Green has been awful against the Warriors this year. He's been off. Like, he shoots his worst against the Warriors this season. He's just, but he's got all-star numbers. I think he's a good player, but the Warriors have figured him out. We'll get to that in a second. But Moody in that closing five, the reason why I'll push back on that, and you're probably going to see a lot more GP2, maybe even more Brandon Podziemski. Podziemski guarded his ass off yesterday. I wonder where the fans are at with Brandon Podziemski right now, because Brandon Podziemski's being more decisive. He's shooting nearly 40 from 3 since he's returned. He's been playing, but Moody's foot speed, I think you agree with me, Shasky, on the perimeter, he doesn't have the foot speed to stay with the elite guards. So I think if you do go Kuminga, Butler, Draymond, where does that leave Moody? Because right now they want Moody guarding those stretch 4s, those stretch 5s. I don't think he has the foot speed to guard a guard. So that's where Kuminga comes in at the point of attack to try to guard the SGAs, the Kyries, the Lucas of the world, because that's what it's going to come down to, Shasky.
The thing that bugs me on this team is that when you close out to a shooter, you got to close out low, right? Because you want to stay in a defensive stance so that if that guy pump fakes and tries to dribble, you're at least standing your ground. Too many times, they're jumping out at non-shooters who have no business shooting threes, and you kind of want shooting threes, and they come closing out either way too hard or they're jumping, and I'm like, dog, he's going right around you. Moody does that. I think he struggles to recover.
Foot speed.
Steph's done that. Buddy Hield. The thing that I was telling Joe, and it was driving me nuts, on these high pick and rolls, okay? If I watch Buddy just take the switch and GP2 switch so easily, what are we doing? Stop switching. Stop switching. Fight through. And you saw Jimmy late in the Wednesday night game against Kyrie. He was like, he jumped over the screen and was like, no, we're not switching. I got Kyrie. I want to see more of that. Like GP2, you're out on the floor for a reason. Stop passively giving up the switch and allowing Buddy to get basically eaten alive.
But that's what they coach, though. That's what the Warriors have kind of done. Yeah, no doubt. But that's the Warriors, and that's what they've been doing for over a decade now. They've kind of brought that to the league, switching everything, having guys who could play multiple positions and switch them. There's no doubt about that. There's at times you got to not switch it. But look, defensively, they're going to need to buckle down at the point of attack, man, because that's 3 guards. There's one concern as the Warriors are 3-1 with Jimmy Butler. It's Kobe White. It's Damian Lillard, it's Kyrie Irving, and there's going to be the guards over and over and over again.
Especially in the West.
Especially in the West, we're going to get 2 feet in the paint, Spadoni.
Bonta Hill in studio with us every single Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been so fun. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better...
buzzing.
I mean, we've been talking about this morning, like, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, whatever.
No, All-Star Weekend. It's buzzing right now.
I'm saying there's so much happening right now. Obviously, it's Payday Friday, first and foremost, for your boy. It's been great. But there's a buzz here. The sun is coming out a little bit. This atmospheric river is dissipating. The city looks and feels crisp right now, Bonta Hill. There's all the celebrities around here. We've got the Celebrity All-Star Game today. Jerry Rice versus Barry Bonds. We got the Celebrity Pickleball Bash event happening this weekend. Your boy Molly and Festus are going to be part of that. We have so much happening in the Bay Area this week. And it kicks off something that's going to be taking place here the next 2 years. We got All-Star Game this weekend. We got the Super Bowl next year. And we got World Cup. Bonta. So much is going to be happening here in the Bay Area. And obviously the World Cup is the entire United States and North America, Canada, Mexico's also involved. but Levi Stadium is going to be popping. Chase Center is going to be popping. Are you feeling the buzz right now in the city? I'm sure you're going to be doing a bunch of stuff this weekend. We're talking about the king in his chariot. Did you have horses pulling you up to the building this morning?
I almost did. Police escort, man.
Oh, wow. Okay. You got the barricades out there. I already see it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm leaving the house at 8:30. What's up, man? Get me through this traffic on a Friday morning. No, it is buzzing. When you said Levi Stadium buzzing, I looked at Shasky. Maybe things around Levi's may be buzzing. Well, we'll see.
Did run into Al Guido the other day.
Hold on. I got to drop.
We did a head nod.
There you go.
He was at his daughter plays for St. Francis.
Just a little head nod?
So he was at the SI St. Francis camp.
Did you say what's up?
Again, the unofficial head nod.
He saw Dunleavy earlier last week, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you say what's up to him?
Well, Dunleavy was scouting LJ, like pregame warm-ups, Got to make that 5U team. That's a joke.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. He's lead feeding.
No, the city is buzzing. No, it was fun last night. I actually, stayed up a little late past my bedtime. Fezzi had a fundraiser, which was a lot of cool.
Nice.
They had a little party at Treasure Island. Shoe Palace, shout out to Shoe Palace. Shout out to 1985. They're doing some things. I told them to call you, man, because there's some things going on tomorrow at 1985 Gallery. But All-Star Weekend buzzing. It is fun. Like, I started to get the itch last night with Katie and company in town, and you see all the banners around the
they've
signage.
got powder for that.
Yeah, they do. So we need. I'm not gonna touch that.
We talked 10 minutes of Scarface last segment. That lets you know what we're talking about right now.
It's a Friday.
I'm going to Hawaii Monday.
He literally said we're mailing it in, and it was 8:30 when he was on.
He does that sometimes. He mixed the melanin in. The melanin
carried the show for months on end. It's like
the morning mail-in, man. The morning mail-in.
We have an hour and a half left. Can you give me another hour?
Can you give me something? You run out of material? Here, I got some material for you. Brock Purdy's he better than any of the 4 quarterbacks we saw in the conference championships. And I do want to get your thoughts on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts looked good. That's
happy
with Brock Purdy. The Eagles are a problem. I know we're talking Warriors, but the Eagles, they're set up to crush the league again next season. They are. Well, it broke my heart to see how dominant they were. And it proves over and over, fans, that if you don't have an offensive line, that you don't have wide receivers who can break open, that you can't block at the point of attack, you're not going to win big games.
No, it's a good point. And I want to say this, and we'll get back to the Warriors because we haven't had your takes on the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's the NBA just dominating the last 2 weeks of this, and that Super Bowl being a stinker didn't help the league, although they had 126 million people watching it, so it didn't really matter. We can get your thoughts on the halftime show if you want, Bonta. Shasky had his thoughts. I don't care about any halftime show. I'm just going to keep it a buck. It is what it is.
But that's the point. It's not for you.
Hold on. Patrick Mahomes has stunk in the Super Bowl. Can we just, real quick?
Wait a minute. New York Kitty, I just saw something here.
What?
Spadoni telling Shasky to hold on, and Shasky didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Whoa. Where was the respect for me for 5 years?
Oh, my God. And it goes back to Bonta.
Okay, by the way,
Bonta Hill, NBC Sports Bay Area
Gosh,
host.
I wish that would have worked with me. Shasky, hold on. No, Bonta. Where's the respect?
I told you I'm mailing it in.
Gosh.
I need to get this in there because the Big Boss Man, we got to make sure we plug this. NBC Sports Bay Area host of Warriors pre- and post-game, Bonta Hill. We got to hammer that. NBC, I'm hammering it for you.
Got to hammer it.
Bonta Hill, NBC Sports Bay Area, joining us here on the River Islands guest line.
I'm Bonta Hill. I'm in front of Oracle Park, and I got to say, I'm really looking forward to that Wilmer Flores at bat and Lamont Wade Jr. leading off.
Willie Adamas, hey.
I'm trying to get excited about the Giants, but right now, don't do it to me. I read something about Lamont Wade Jr. the other day. About leading off. And
Bryce Aldridge not going to play this year in the Bigs?
Lamont gets on base, and somebody was like, I think it was John Boy Jeff Young on Twitter. He had this whole thread on Lamont Wade Jr. Spinoni, and he started discussing, goes, well, he's one of the slowest players in the league, so batting him lead off really isn't that advantageous. And I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, Giants baseball. Can we get a run from the Warriors?
Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger this year.
Don't be a stranger, yeah. Come on by. Don't be a stranger.
5 hits to get him home from second.
Oh my God.
I mean, what are we doing? I thought Brandon Belt was one of the slowest players I've ever seen. I mean,
Is Radio Bonta going to struggle?
Doing
on
television?
TV talking Giants?
No, you'll be
I'm
fine.
actually excited about the Giants.
Look,
I know how to dress it up with the best of them.
material and you'll be fine.
Oh my God. Garlic fries and baseball, guys. Check
I will
it out.
steal the material.
There you
I'm going to
go.
listen to every show because love me to throw some nuggets in there. I'll just start jotting them down.
Real
Nobody
quick.
would know.
Super Bowl Sunday, Bonta, as we'll get back to the Warriors here in a second.
There's a Super Bowl?
No. Before the Super Bowl even happened, you got the notification on your phone from Adam Schefter. Debo requested a trade.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think when you saw that Sunday morning when you woke up?
Well, it's been in the works. And I think he has his eyes set on Tampa Bay. Little birdie told me that to look out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is back in November, which was strange. I'm like, why would Tampa Bay want him? But apparently Debo has his eyes set on them. And just, you know what? It's time. It's time to move on from Debo Samuel. I mean, the self-awareness from some of these players sometimes, I just got to laugh. And Debo Samuel, coming off of that season, and we know about the Juno chop or whatever we call it, the Tabor Pepper, just straight up karate kidded him in the neck. And then the lock-in, and then you're tweeting, I'm not getting the ball enough. It's not me, it's them. It's just time. And then, walking around with an Eagles jersey, Radio Row.
What was that?
Debo Samuel played himself out of being an all-time Niner. He's now in a Crabtree tier of 49ers.
He's better than Crabtree, but I hear
Better than Crabtree, but he's in that tier. He's not in the tier with John Taylor, Jerry Rice, and T.O., that's for sure. And he's had all-time moments with the 49ers, but there's been too many inconsistencies, and you know what? It's time to move on. But I just thought, damn, Debo, you go to exit meetings, and then you're putting it out there, and now you're tweeting even more? Now you kill the Niners' value. So I just, whatever. I mean, it's been real, Debo. No ill will.
It just
Thank you for the memories.
How much it's going to cost them.
Oh, it's going to cost them a lot.
I mean, that's the part that really sucks. I mean, who knows where IU, because his he was suggesting, Spadoni's suggesting, Devontae Adams. I'm out on all diva wide receivers.
Yeah.
I'm out on all of them. For this team, the way they want to play football, I'm out on them.
I'll give you a name right now. As Bonta just mentioned, Tampa Bay wanted to get him. What about Chris Godwin on a prove-it deal? Would you take Chris Godwin at 28 years old, coming off an injury, but he's been Super Bowl champion.
Well,
he's
that's
been
two wide
very good.
receivers coming off
I would rather get linemen. If you're going to spend money in free agency, linemen is the way to go.
I don't feel great about Juwan Jennings being my number one receiver heading into the next
I don't think
year,
anyone does, but they run the ball. The number one most important player on offense.
Christian McCaffrey, I don't even know if he's going to be healthy. So there's a lot baked into this, obviously.
I think what we learned, especially from Philadelphia, and I was trying to explain this all season long. Look, I get it. They invested in their wide receivers, and A.J. Brown could be a headache. Those wide receiver divas.
He's angry up 17.
He's angry all the time, right?
I mean, he's literally checking the coach.
But think about it. They added Saquon Barkley, and this is what concerned me about Philly all year, which is why I love when Christian McCaffrey came aboard to the 49ers. You go 8 in the box, trying to snuff out Saquon Barkley, which the Kansas City Chiefs did. Well, I got Devontae, who's a top 20 wide receiver. I got A.J. Brown, who's a top 10 wide receiver, going one-on-one with the underrated tight end in Dallas Goedert.
Jahan Dotson
out of nowhere. Johnny Wilson even got a target in the Super Bowl, young man from Florida State. When you have that ability, and that's where the Niners at wide receiver, Ayuk has to be back in the form that he was in last season. You hope so. Ricky Pearsall, he needs to continue to ascend, but you also need playmakers on the outside. You can't beat that Philadelphia Eagles team with Juwan Jennings as your number one wide receiver. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Darius Big Play Slay are too much. So I hear you. Yes, they need linemen. They need to shore up the trenches bad. Another interior defensive lineman, another edge rusher. I need exotic blitzes. I've been waiting to use that one. But offensive linemen, no doubt, to protect against the front four of the Philadelphia Eagles, who didn't even need to blitz on Super Bowl Sunday. But you also need playmakers to threaten that defense deep, to make them worry about something. I need their safeties playing too high, over the top. So I'm with you, Spadoni. They still need another playmaker or two.
I wouldn't hate, again, I get it. How it ended with Devontae the last year is not a great look. He also played for two just historically dysfunctional franchises in the last 2 decades.
He chose to play for those two
I'm going to
teams.
say this real quick, though. A lot of people, me included, were drinking the Jets Kool-Aid. I thought the Jets were going to be really good this past year. It didn't happen. He went to the guy who made him a Hall of Famer. Let's keep it a buck. Aaron Rodgers made Devontae Adams a Hall of Famer.
He went to the Raiders willingly.
He did, but that was to play with Derek Carr, and they paid him a lot of money because the Packers weren't going to do that.
Listen to the sentence you just said. He went to play with Derek Carr.
Let's not act like he was a first-team All-Pro in his first year with Derek, though.
But no, he
was a first-team All-Pro with the Raiders.
But he chose to play with the Raiders. It's such a good point. You left one of the iconic franchises in all of sports.
But the Packers
to choose to play for the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Packers didn't do anything that year either. The Packers didn't make the playoffs.
Well, that's
so
fine.
let's keep it a buck.
They're one of the best run organizations in sports. They're very similar like the Cardinals. They churn out players yearly. They're always in the playoffs. The Raiders are one of the worst run franchises in sports over the last 20 years.
I get it. It was the head coach didn't work. He had a great season with them, though. So I'm not here to say
that might be
first
entirely
season,
true.
He thought he was going to be with Derek, who did feed him, and he did put up,
what we've learned about
all-pro
football
numbers.
is that the organization truly matters. The reason why the Eagles are the Eagles is because of the front office, the organization, the stability, the ownership. Bad owners lose.
Yeah.
They just do.
And think about that. He chose to play with Derek Carr. Derek Carr.
That was
Is
the guy.
Derek Carr even a top 20 wide receiver? How many wide receivers? Chris Olave would pay to leave New Orleans right now to not play with Derek Carr.
Sure.
So he chose to do that. And by the way, with the way the receiver doc played out, who looked worse? Devontae Adams? And the way he was acting on the sideline, it was a lot of me, I, me, I.
Well,
And then he forced his way. Think about the decisions.
Jimmy was the one that came out bad from that.
But still, though, you go to the Raiders, you know they're a dysfunctional organization. Then you say, you know what? I want to go with Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets, who may be worse than the Raiders at running their own organization. So, Devontae, look, it sounds good, but if I'm going to spend on a wide receiver, I guess T. Higgins would be an option, but I need to
He's
show up
always
the
hurt,
trenches.
too.
He's always hurt with a hamstring.
I like the player. He's always
hurt. You never know. He's always on the injury report.
And now the big question is going to be Brock Purdy, right? What is he going to make? Tim Kawakami reporting he doesn't think it's going to be $60 million. It's going to be more level-headed. That's what he's saying. This, that, and the other. Where are you at, Bonta? As we're joined by Bonta Hill, NBC Sports Bay Area host of Warriors Pre- and Postgame Live. We're going to get into the Dubs a little bit later into this segment, but Brock Purdy, paying him, what's it going to cost? What's it going to look like? That has got to be the priority right now, because the last thing we need is another Brandon Ayuk situation, Nick Bosa situation, Trent Williams. No drama. Get rid of Debo if you need to get rid of him. If you need to cut his ass, cut his ass. Just no drama this season. Nipping that in the bud early would be huge, I feel like.
Yeah, but this is pro sports, man.
Well, there's an argument to be made.
This is pro sports, not what I wanted to hear.
Seriously, what do you want me to say?
Well, there's an argument to be made that, like, cutting Debo to save the $20 million is actually a better team strategy than trading him, taking the $33 million cap hit, and getting a 4th round, 5th round pick back in return. And also just like moving on from the drama.
Just remove the cloud, because you got to go start training camp fresh with everybody in camp. You don't want no holdouts. You don't want no drama.
I don't want lingering BS.
But you know what? These are the 49ers, and this is Kyle Shanahan and Jet York and John Lynch, and they love being in the news. I do think, like, not John Lynch and Shanahan. I know they don't like being in the news that much, but Jet York, you don't think he's sitting back saying, boy, we're talked about a lot. Boy, we're a national headline. Super Bowl Sunday, boom, Deebo Samuel from Adam Schefter. Like, damn, the Niners are back in the news while the Eagles are getting ready for a Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs.
That part I probably wouldn't like, though. My receiver, who I gave a huge amount of money to, hasn't even come close to that season.
I don't love it, but they do believe all press is good press. So, but there will be drama. But just move on and you know what? It's been real, Debo. It sucks the way it ended. It really does. It does. Not getting off the ball, not getting off the line of scrimmage, hurt, injured, whatever. I mean, it's no tact.
Well, it's interesting, right? So we're going to be saying goodbye to Deebo Samuel, a disgruntled star, right? And we said hello to one just a week ago, and Jimmy Butler coming in here now. As we pivot back to the Warriors real quick, Bonta, like, are you surprised how seamless this has been with Jimmy early on here? I get it. They let one slip away against the Mavericks. That felt like a game where you probably should have won. Mike Dunleavy was on yesterday's Standing He said it felt like a playoff loss, just given everything that happened. Obviously, no AD. Gafford, who was it? Gafford's now going to be out for a month with an MCL, 6 weeks. So they're going to be missing Anthony Davis, Gafford, Lively.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
The three of us in this room, only one of us thought it was a good trade for Dallas on the night of the trade.
Bonta said, I'll do his credit.
No, Anthony Davis played amazing for Dallas in that first game.
17 minutes.
And then it was like, he's out with a non-contact injury for a month. Who did not look at the medicals? Yeah, well, who knows?
Well, now Mark Williams, the Lakers are like, actually, we don't want Mark Williams
back.
Right, we want Dalton back.
And now the Hornets are trying to buy him out or something. Did you see that?
Yeah,
they're trying to just cut him.
How about the Mavs winning 2 straight though? Out of nowhere,
I'm
2
so
straight.
No Clay coming yesterday.
Wiggins just got there. He can't play.
Right.
They're like, he has a stomach virus. I'm like, oh God.
Miami flu.
To win that
Miami flu.
No,
it affected him.
The Jimmy Butler trade. This is a conversation we were having for a couple weeks ago, and we always have this conversation around here. Who's going to be the team? No, not that. Shasky, not that.
What?
It's another
a conversation we're always having about it.
No. I don't partake in that conversation. It's a one-sided conversation.
You just nod. Yeah,
just nod. Yeah. You're right.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
You're right. But no, which franchise is going to take this region and be the head honcho? Who's going to be the leader here? And how about the Golden State Warriors? Because that Orlando game a couple weeks ago, fans were leaving out in the third quarter.
That might have been
awful.
One of the worst television products, and I've watched some bad ones.
It was, dude, fans were
Horrible.
leaving in the third quarter of that basketball game, and I'm thinking,
Did you hear what people were saying? They're like, I'd rather watch Austin Slater hit.
No, they weren't saying that. They're saying
I don't get a
They're
three.
saying I gotta really wait an hour for the post game show to watch Bully and Company. Listen, no,
I'd rather watch Anthony Slater hit than Austin.
I would rather watch Anthony Slater. But that move that the Warriors just made for Jimmy Butler has catapulted them back to the Bay Area charts here. Now everybody's talking Dubs. Everybody's talking Jimmy. The lady, Natalie at Lenardi's, who's always giving Baby Chez a sticker.
Quite
Ponte,
simply the
Jimmy
best.
Butler. There's intrigue again with the Warriors, and right now they're the top of the charts here in the Bay Area again. Joe Lacob Company did that with that big move. So we'll get in the house and listen to this.